Welcome back to another episode of the Till Corner Podcast with Keso and Kat. We
Hi,
miss y'all. It's been busy. Kat, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just so ready for the season. Like I can't wait. It's been feeling like forever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
agree with that.
yeah, life's been down ever since that fourth quarter Jamal Agnew fumble. Well, I thought we were about to be down like 3 points after that and have a chance to push. Yeah, life's been down since then, but ready for the play Anthony Richardson week one. That's gonna be exciting.
Oh yeah, that'll be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, but no, it's been good. I was able to actually go down to Jacksonville for the military appreciation day they had during training camp, the big stadium practice scrimmage, if you want to say. Pretty cool experience. Got to get this nice t-shirt
Oh, nice.
signed, signed by Andre Cisco.
Oh, cool.
And then we got to go on the field and have a couple conversations with some players and things like that, get some more signatures and autographs. So it's pretty cool. I got paired up with Oliver Martin, one of the undrafted free agent guys coming into camp this year, wide receiver. Made a couple plays. Actually had the 2 point conversion in the preseason game last week. Really cool guy. Just excited to get to meet some of these players. After him, got to talk to Darius Williams. Darius Williams is, if you don't know, one of the starting cornerbacks for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Uh, Last year was his first year on the team. They started him out inside, moved him outside. He was much better. This is a guy that played outside of opposite of Jalen Ramsey. Super cool guy, Super Bowl winner, talented, hometown kid. So it was nice just to chop it up with him, encourage him, tell him we got his back, all those kind of things. After that, I got to talk to Andre Cisco for a little bit. Got a signature from him. I mess with him all the time on Twitter, so it's good to know that he see these tweets and he loves the interaction with the fans. He told us that he's gonna drop the overnight oats recipe. When they first reported back to training camp, he was notably bigger, juiced up. Everybody's like, "Oh, what happened to Cisco? Why is he so big?" Blah blah blah. And he said it was the overnight oats. So we've all been begging him for the recipe. So he told me he's gonna drop it soon. So we'll stay tuned. Also got to speak with Jamal Agnew, cool guy, real down to earth, shake your hand, introduce yourself as Jamal, talk about anything with you. So I know me and him have had some Twitter spats here and there, but yeah, it's all love with 39. Wishing him the best, one of the best returners in the league. Growing into that receiver position is going to be counted on. Playmaker, take the ball out the backfield. Just a real cool guy, man. So that was fun. And then also uh talked to Christian Kirk.
Oh, nice.
Got some signatures from Captain Kirk, just encouraging him. He was excited. I had a Kirk jersey that belonged to my brother. He wanted me to get it signed for him, so I was glad I was able to do that. And then talked to Ridley. Talked to Calvin Ridley, the most famous person in Jacksonville right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was getting swarmed. Like everybody wanted to talk to him and Trevor. Like those two were just getting drowned out by so many people, but they were friendly, nice. It was super hot, like 90s, high 90s. They were ready to go after like a 3 hour practice. They were like, "All right, guys, like love y'all, but it's hot. We got to get something to drink and
Yeah.
start getting in the recovery room." But that was cool. And then the Jaguars gave us all a gift, which was the military appreciation camo number practice jerseys worn by the player during that scrimmage. So that
That's
was pretty
awesome.
cool. Got this thing signed by Oliver Martin himself, Jamal Agnew, and Darius Williams. So pretty cool experience overall. Definitely thank you to the Jaguars. So appreciative for the opportunity. Thank you to the players for just being so cool and humble and willing to give back to a community event. So that was awesome.
Yeah, that is really cool. That sounds like a really awesome experience.
Yeah, it really was. I won't even lie. Today was a big one. Joint training camp or joint practice, whatever you want to call it, with the Detroit Lions ahead of their preseason game. What did you think about what came out, on Twitter today about the joint practice?
So a couple things. It's it was cool to see like the long pass. Sorry, you might see my cat. He's in here. So,
That's a
okay.
baby jaguar. It's all good.
He just let himself in. Okay. Anyways, moving on. There was like the really long pass from Trevor to Ridley that was really nice. There was it looked good. It looked like the team is looking like how they should look, which is better than the Lions.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Yeah, and
I don't want to get like too it's just been one preseason game and it's been like one practice and I refuse to be like we're going to be amazing this year because I've been burned by the Jaguars so many times. But I felt like in the practice they looked like they were practicing better, which is how in my opinion that should be the case. We should be better than the Lions this year. Um so I thought that it looked pretty promising what I've seen so far. What
yeah,
did
I
you think?
agree. Yeah, I was really following all day on the Twitter or X, excuse me, on the X platform. Just following guys from Detroit. Jacksonville didn't send a lot of media members up there from the local stations and those kind of things. So really kind of got a lot of one-sided view of the practice from the Lions. They were being super optimistic about everything, but a couple guys like Brent from ESPN 690 and some of those guys. So and then the Jaguars posted a lot of videos, surprisingly, which they normally don't do.
Yeah.
But yeah, saw Zay touchdown in the back of the end zone. He's been doing a lot of back of the end zone toe tapping catches like all freaking camp,
Yeah.
all this everything since the offseason started. So Zay's looking really good. Christian Kirk got some more work in. I saw his touchdown.
Yes.
Um, Calvin Ridley had two. One of them he kind of turned around and started talking that Chauncey Gardner Johnson. So
Yeah.
that was cool to see. And then yeah, I didn't hear anything about Trevor throwing interceptions. I didn't hear anything about Trevor making them bad reads. Like it sounded like Trevor had a good day. The
Yeah.
pass catches, I didn't hear anything about drops today, which you normally do,
Yeah.
which we normally have so far. But it sounded like the receivers, and I saw a lot of Evan Ingram tweets. Like Evan Ingram was unguardable by those guys. So it sounded like the offense had a great day. Same with the defense. You heard Devin Lloyd had a one-handed interception, two other pass breakups, a lot of goal line stops by Foyer. Like it just sounded like the defense had a great day, which is surprising because
Yeah.
the Lions has a good offense. Like their
They
offense
do.
was one of the top last year. Top five line, passing game was pretty good. Granted, Amon-Ra St. Brown got hurt early today, so he didn't really get a lot of teamwork, but it sounded like they did well.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, the rest of training camp, a lot of reports been coming out. Greg Jr.'s been looking pretty good, kind of pushing Trey Herndon a little bit. Then it came out today that, you know, Greg Jr. gave up a big bomb play. So it's kind of not what you want to hear as the guys pushing to get into the starting lineup. But otherwise, I think, reports sound like the Jaguars are going to be what we thought they were or what we expect them to
Yeah.
be. So that's exciting.
It's really exciting. I just need this to be a good football year.
I agree. So with that, taming the expectations a little bit, right? There's obviously still some weaknesses on the roster. This team was, drafted first overall 2 years ago, first overall the year before that as well.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not going to be perfect. What weak points do you still see in the roster after free agency and the draft and everything like that? Now that we're all settled and getting ready to start here in a little under 30 days.
My biggest thing right now is just the defense, honestly. I feel like with pass rush, it could be better. Um, that's my biggest thing probably is pass rush. And I don't know, this isn't really a spot because we have ETN, but Bigsby so far hasn't really done as much as I thought he would.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point too. Yeah, I definitely agree on the pass rush. I'm really hoping Josh Allen and Trayvon can stay healthy for 17 games because
Yeah.
behind those two guys, it is not
Um,
much.
yeah,
But granted, both of those guys are first round picks, top 10 picks. Like they have to perform this year.
they do.
Josh is in the contract year. Trayvon Walker's getting bust allegations already after his first season. Like, we need those guys to perform well.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then,
really get sorry.
no, go ahead.
I just don't really get people saying that about Trayvon Walker. I don't think that his first season was really that bad.
Hmm.
I don't think it was as bad as everyone's making it out to be, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of people really only gonna pay attention to the sack numbers. He only had 3.5. Aiden Hutchinson, who was drafted one pick later, who was mocked to the Jags as well, had 9.5. So it's going those two guys will always be tied to each other. So I think it's kind of like, oh, Aiden Hutchinson had a lot better year than Trayvon. He must suck. It's like, no, he's just a different player. Like,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
more of a run stuffer. He's more of a mauler. Like, we play in the AFC South with Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor. Like, Aiden
Yeah,
Hutchinson wouldn't be as impactful against the run like that. We
exactly.
have, yeah, he's a
Like,
different kind of player.
yeah, exactly. He's a different kind of player, and there's no telling how Aiden Hutchinson would have done in the AFC South. So it's like it's not fair to compare the two, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Just different styles. But yeah, I mean, Aiden's more polished. He has more moves, right? That's why everybody kind of was getting on Trayvon. He
Yeah,
really just ran like tried to bull rush into the tackle every time last year, which isn't going to work that often unless you're like special at that.
yeah,
So he'll grow and get better. I'm not tripping. But I think the secondary is kind of a weak spot for me. The nickel position. Right now, Trey Herndon's still in the lead. I didn't
yeah,
see much from him last year. His PFF grades are what they are. I mean, it's no secret.
yeah,
But yeah, I didn't really see anything from him last year to show that he was turning the corner to become, you know, a great or even a good nickel player. I think he's serviceable. He's not the worst, nickel in the world, but he's not top tier nickel cornerback either. So yeah, we dove into that on the previous episode. He gave up a lot of completions. I think his completion rate is like a little over 50%. A lot of first downs given up, those kind of things. The Denver game sticks out where he got beat deep, but he was on the outside. The Cowboys game, he was in the slot. CD Lamb was literally like calling an audible to get the ball and pointing at Trey Herndon because
really
he knew he couldn't guard him. Like, he was just working Trey. So, but that's CD
yeah,
Lamb, one of the top receivers in the game. So
very
I
true.
guess, yeah, not too many people could keep up there. But yeah, I think that's really the only weak spots. And then the offensive line, Anton's looking good, but he's a rookie. I'm sure when they get into the season, defensive coordinators are probably going to try to show him some looks he haven't seen before to confuse him. So I guess we'll really see there. And then Ken Robinson suspended for 4 games. And Anton's hurt a little bit too, right? Like,
I think
he missed
so.
some time with the shoulder. Then reports came out today that he got pulled from practice, like he re-aggravated the shoulder. So you can't really be offensive lineman with shoulder issues starting this season because you use your shoulders every play.
Yeah,
And if you have to make contact with 330-pound linemen and 280-pound edge rushers consistently, that shoulder isn't going to hold up. So hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully he doesn't need a procedure or something to help stabilize that shoulder and it just goes away, but we'll see.
yeah.
And then preseason game, week 1, what'd you think?
I liked it. I don't think that the interception by Trevor Lawrence was as big of a deal as everyone made it out to be.
Yeah.
Um, was it a great choice? No, but
Hmm.
I just didn't. Some people were like, "Oh my god, he sucks," and it's just like maybe chill out. And
Yeah.
then after that, he was fine. Um, I don't know. They looked. I don't like to take too much into preseason,
Hmm.
because it's preseason. But I did like that our backup players looked much better than theirs, in my opinion, which is how it should be on a team that you want depth on. And I guess we'll talk about the Nathan Rourke touchdown. That was fun. I am kind
Yeah.
of tired of everyone comparing it. I don't. Okay, you know how I feel about Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, he's a great player, but not
Hmm.
everyone, not everything that everyone does has to be compared to him. And I just thought it was so funny that that was the first thing that the NFL did. They were like, "Oh, Nathan Rourke just did like his best Mahomes impression." It's like,
Yeah.
really? Like, God, they're so obsessed with him. I can't. It's so annoying. But I thought they looked really good for a preseason game. I think the offense is going to be really electric this year and like score a lot of points, which we'll need because I don't think our defense is going to be able to stop a lot of the team. Like, we're playing a lot of good teams this year, you know.
Hmm.
So you win games and you are a good team, you're going to play the better team in the league. So we need to be able to keep up scoring because I don't know how good our defense is going to be at stopping some of these teams from scoring. Like we're playing the Chiefs. You don't
Hmm.
stop Mahomes from you don't stop him. I mean, we couldn't stop him with one leg in the freaking
Yeah.
AFC in the AFC Championship game. He beat us like hobbling down the field. Like it was freaking Chad Henne had a 99-yard drive on our defense. Like that's the kind of
Kane.
stuff. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I'm like fully expecting to see happen again in this season. So we need to have a really electric offense that's able to keep up and like outscore other teams. And hopefully we can have a defense that's just good enough that they don't. They're gonna obviously teams are gonna score on us because our defense just
Hmm.
isn't good enough to like fully stop teams from scoring. But
Okay.
hopefully they can get to the point where they're good enough that they can stop them when it's needed, kind of how it was last season. So I think they looked good. I was happy with how they looked, but I want to watch the Lions game because I didn't actually get to watch the preseason game because a friend of mine was in town who I never get to see, and seeing her was more important than watching the game, which I know might be controversial, but I don't have anything this Saturday, so I'm gonna try to watch the Lions game.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I agree with a lot of what you just said. Starting back with the first series, we'll start with the first team offense. They got to go out first. Second throw of the game, Trevor throws the pick. Kind of just like a weird play call concept.
Yeah,
Calvin was kind of running like a shallow post a little bit, and then Ingram was running across or right over him, so they were kind of in the same area. Trevor said it was just a bad throw. Doug said it slipped. The ball was intended to go a little bit higher to Evan over that defender. A lot of people think they ran the wrong route because you hardly ever see two NFL pass options in that tight of a window. It's just
yeah.
not it's not a good combination. So yeah, I think Calvin probably ran the wrong route if we're being honest. They shouldn't have been that close, but it is what it's not a big deal. People like overreacting because it's the preseason and everybody's bored. So I mean, it just is what it is. I
Yeah.
think Trevor only threw 8 interceptions last year. Let's not make this out
Yeah.
to be a big deal. Like,
And four of them were in one game.
yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah,
crazy. I really thought we were gonna get killed by the Chargers after that happened.
yeah. That was pretty crazy. I flew all the way down there for that. After
Same.
interception number 4, I definitely had some harsh words for Trevor in the stands. A little bit of alcohol involved, but definitely had some harsh words for Trev. But he turned it. I wasn't leaving. I was like, we gonna
Oh
sit
no.
here and through it. So
Only
glad I
an
stayed,
idiot
glad we
would have
fought.
left that game, okay?
Yeah.
I was
I
like, we're
feel
gonna
bad.
win.
Yeah. People next to me actually left. So
No, oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I was
No one in our
glad.
section left. So we had a good like I was sitting in my parents' seats and they
Okay.
sit right in the end zone. So it's a good like group of season ticket holders and no
Okay.
one left.
Yeah, nah, that's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
back on the offensive side, I think Travis Etienne looked pretty good. He showed good
Mhm.
bursts. He showed improved vision, hitting some of these holes. Um, Etienne's gonna be a dude, man. Like
He is.
I know he went over 1,000 last year, but I think he still has more to give. So I'm excited for that. Tank Bigsby got in there with the ones. Um, on the second drive. He had a play where it was him and Overshawn one-on-one in the hole, and he lost that.
Yeah.
Overshawn is an undersized linebacker, so I'm kind of surprised Tank Bigsby lost that with his neck being like power. He only needed like 1 yard, and he literally got stopped in his tracks. So
Yeah.
that's weird. Rookie on rookie action. I don't know. That was weird. That was kind of disappointing. I think Tank should have won that. At
Mhm.
least fell forward to get that yard. Like you don't get stood up like that by a linebacker one on one, especially a
No.
linebacker of that size. But
Yeah,
The
he's
receivers all
been
look good.
for me.
Yeah, so Tank has been getting a lot of love in training camp, like busting long runs. He had a long run in the game too, like 35 yards. It was pretty impressive, but I'm not seeing that like consistent 4.5 yards per carry guy yet. So he's a rookie. He's gonna have some
Yeah,
time, but it's ETN show. Like people were
it is.
I personally thought it was gonna be more of like a 1A, 1B type of deal, but I think now the more we get to see him in live action, it's ETN show and Tank gonna get the scrap. So I think that's how to go. They'll probably give him a little bit more burn just to keep ETN healthy. He takes a lot of big tackles. They'll probably want to keep him healthy through the season and for the playoffs. So Tank will definitely get some work, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's ETN show. Wide receivers look good.
they
Kirk
all look
obviously
good.
caught the touchdown. Zay 2-point conversion. Really had a couple catches. Nice
Mhm.
out route, first down type of deal. So they worked him back in easy. The young receivers from the second and third team, my goodness, they look
Looks
good.
so good.
Yeah, Jake with the long catch. That was a crazy diving catch. That was just beautiful. Seth
Hmm.
Williams getting in there, making some great grabs. Kevin Austin looked horrible. I mean, three bad drops. It was so bad. The
Yeah,
radio broadcaster said it looked like he was playing volleyball because he was not catching the football properly. So that was funny. But yeah, and then defense, the first team defense looked great. Obviously, that was the Cowboys backup O line, so
yeah.
it kind of should look
That's why like
great.
I can't take too much into the defense looking good into
Yeah,
the preseason game because we knew that that was pretty much all of Dallas's backups playing for the most part.
yeah.
So it's like that's why I can't. I'm happy that we like dominated their backups because we should. Our starters should do
Mhm.
that. But
Yeah, I agree. And then, yeah, our second team defense looked pretty good, except for Shaq Quarterman.
yeah,
Hometown kid, love him, but goodness gracious, he got carved up. He really showed like his inability to cover and keep up with guys. That was so
yeah,
apparent. So, yeah, hopefully Shaq can turn that around because, we root for Shaq, hometown kid, Oak Leaf High School, all that good stuff. But definitely looking forward to better performances there. And then, yeah, I think that's really all the takeaways you can really take from a preseason game.
yeah.
Antonio Johnson was looking pretty well. He was hitting. He came down, he got a good hit on Deuce Vaughn, but he also got juked out by Deuce Vaughn like in a phone booth. It was nowhere to go, and he made Antonio Johnson run into his own teammate. So that was interesting. But yeah, good game overall. Both sides played great. Backups played great. So excited. It's gonna be a tough cut to get to 53 this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you remember last preseason? Like some of those guys were so bad last year. We were like, oh my God, he's not going to be on the team. Like, I
Yeah.
can't wait to get this guy out of there. Yeah. I don't really see much of that this year.
No, because even like I think there's going to be like a battle for like who's going to be the backup quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about that this week. Like Nathan Rourke is looking pretty good, and CJ Beathard has been looking pretty mad since he got
Yeah.
to Jacksonville. Like, I haven't seen him have a good camp, but like you haven't seen any reports of CJ Beathard looking spectacular at all. Today
No.
they said he looked pretty decent up there in Detroit, but outside of that, like you really haven't heard much about him at all.
Yeah. So that'll be
And
interesting to
then
see how that shakes out because CJ's been the backup.
yeah, I think CJ will probably keep it just because he got the veteran preference a little bit more.
Yeah.
He started more games. Like he started in the NFL before. So I think Doug, it's a trust factor there with CJ.
Yeah.
He knows
That's
the
true.
offense. So I think they may keep all three, to be honest. We'll see.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Yeah. And then what are you kind of hoping to see this upcoming preseason game against the Lions in week 2?
Uh, I would like to see I would like to see because I don't know have the Lions said if they're gonna play there's this is the second preseason game, so they'll probably play their starting offense. I would like to see how our starting defense does against their starting offense because the Lions are supposed to have like such a electric offense this year.
Hmm.
And it would be, are they gonna like? carve us up again.
Mm.
Score like, 41 points. That was so embarrassing. Oh my gosh. That might have been their worst game last year, honestly.
Yeah, it
Because
was. They did not punt the ball one time the entire game. That's how
it's
bad it was. Oh, it was bad.
right. I forgot that. Oh, you saying that just made me remember that that's what it was. So I would like to see how our starting defense does against their offense. I also want to see more out of Trevor and the offense as well. But the main thing for me is the defense. I want to see how the defense does this week.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good observation there. Yeah, same. I want to see the defense against some starting level competitions. See how Devin Lloyd is coming along. You know, training camp reports look great. He looked pretty good in the first preseason game. He had a one-hand interception today in camp. Um, some other pass deflections. Like I want to see more of Devin Lloyd. Like
Yeah.
if he turns into a superstar next to Foye Oluokun, that's two pretty damn good interior linebackers. Like that's outstanding. That may be a top tier duo. So if Devin Lloyd comes on strong and Foye stays strong, that defense is going to get better, especially with
Yeah.
the pass rush, you know, Trayvon and Josh Allen and the interior guys like Will Robinson Harris have another year like he did at the second half. Devon Hamilton, Folu Fatukasi comes on. He's healthy now, which he got hurt today, but
Yeah.
hopefully he's back soon. But if those guys play well, then I think Rayshawn, Cisco, Darius Williams, Tyson Campbell play better. And that's, I don't know, that defense has potential. It has a lot. Yeah, they're playing fast. So I'm ready to see that.
Yeah. Well, and Tyson Campbell's really good.
Yeah, top
Always.
five corner. Yeah.
He's great.
And then offense this week, I want to see them get off to a fast start, right? We've been talking about that since last year. I want to see them go out there, string a drive together, get at least a field goal in the opening possession. Like, I want to see it.
Yeah.
The Lions defense was historically bad last year, especially the passing defense. They were like 28th or something like that to finish the year. Somewhere in that bottom tier, bottom 6-7 range. So definitely want to see Trevor carve that carve that
This
defense up.
defense up.
See some more Ridley and the receivers get going, some Travis Etienne, and yeah, after that, wrap it up for the rest of the preseason. Like, let's go down there, let's get a touchdown, maybe come back out for a second drive. I don't want to see them play a full quarter. I don't need to see it.
No.
Let's get two good drives, hopefully two touchdowns, touchdown and the field goal, and wrap them up to week one. That's it. Y'all
Yeah, I
done.
agree. I don't want to risk any injuries with the starters at all, especially Trevor.
Yeah. I was surprised he played the starters in week one, but knowing he's, you know, from the tree of Andy Reid, he played starters. Hell, Patrick Mahomes playing week one, like of the
Yeah,
preseason. So he's the best quarterback in the NFL. So
he is.
uh definitely trusting Doug. I'm excited for this season. Like, I can't wait.
I'm really excited. I love Doug Peterson. He's such a great coach.
Yeah,
Like
he
it's
is.
so nice to like have an expectation of a season and have a coach who is actually good and knows how to coach NFL
Yeah.
players. And it looks like the season that we expected is the season that we're going to get because we're not dealing with, I don't know. I just always kind of felt like for instance, the 2017 team, I always felt like
Mhm.
that was just we had a really easy schedule that year. And I feel like people forget that. Like we had a loser schedule that year
Yeah.
and we beat everyone and then you go to the next year where you have a much harder schedule and it seemed like the only game the team cared about was the New England game. And I'm sorry, that's
Yeah.
coaching. Like that's
Yeah.
coaching. Like why does your team only care about beating the Patriots and then they didn't and then we won like what like one or two other games that year? Like it was an
Yeah.
awful season. So it's nice having a coach that isn't gonna like it's not gonna be like okay we're only gonna focus on the Kansas City game. Doug Peterson's not
Mhm.
the coach, so we don't really have to worry about that happening again.
Yeah. I agree. And then yeah, Miles Jack definitely was not down.
That's true.
Um
We should
yeah,
have
I
won
was
that game,
actually
but
we
we
should
should have beat the
have.
Patriots. Like I have lots of feelings about that game,
Yeah.
but either way, the next season that shouldn't have been the game that the team only gave a shit about.
Yeah, I agree. And I was also there for that game, travel back for that game as well. And it was fantastic. We beat the hell out of the Patriots.
Good.
I was on the very first row, right in front of the tunnel where Tom Brady came out. We got to screaming and heckling him because we were still pissed about that championship game the year before. And he actually heard us. He like turned around, like looked at us, and we were saying some bad things to him, and he just kind of smiled and kept going. So that was awesome. Like, oh yeah, I get to scream and curse at Tom Brady. Like, I feel cool now. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's one of the richest guys on earth, so he didn't really care. I don't think he minded too much, but
Yeah, he
that
doesn't
was
care.
fun. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely didn't care, but it just felt great. Like going into halftime, he coming back to the tunnel, scream at him some more. We
Yeah.
win the game, we're celebrating, like drinking. He had to come back through the tunnel, scream at him some more. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great, yeah. But yeah, looking forward to the season. Like you mentioned, first time. I honestly can say Doug is the second best head coach in franchise history after one season, which is pretty pathetic.
It is
Obviously
pretty
Tom,
pathetic.
yeah, Tom Coughlin's the only guy that's really been able to put together, a decent resume here in Jacksonville. The rest of the coaches can't say the same about Mike Mularkey, uh,
Gus,
Gus Bradley,
Doug
um,
Marone,
Doug Marone. You can't really say the same about a lot of those guys. So
Del
yeah,
Rio was okay.
Jack
Jack
Del
Del
Rio was okay. Yeah,
Rio.
but
He got to the playoffs every now and then.
exactly. But the thing is, like Doug was, in the running for coach of the year last year. You don't really
Yeah.
hardly ever see that out of Jacksonville. So
He should
excited
have
to
won.
he should have won. I mean, Grant Brian Daboll did have a good season. He got a freaking very average quarterback in Daniel Jones, and they did what they did. They beat us last year. So I mean, he did a good
Average.
job. Yeah, I'm still
There's so
mad
many
about
games that the Jaguars should not have lost last year, and the Giants
yes.
were one of those games.
We lost that game by literally like 2 feet. I mean,
Yeah,
Christian Kirk was
like by
literally
a yard.
like literally 1 yard away from the end zone to win the game, and we freaking came up short. But
Yeah.
whatever. Good job, Brian Daboll.
Ugh.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm so ready. I can't wait. Like, I don't even want to get into predictions. We'll save that for next episode. But
Yeah, I don't. I think it's still too early to get back into predictions again. Because I
yeah,
know we
we'll
already
come.
gave our predictions at the beginning, but we wanted to do it again before the season started.
Yeah, we'll come back with that right after the preseason ends. And thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Till Corner Podcast. Please like, subscribe, share. Now we're up on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, and we're also on YouTube. Please engage with us on Twitter, Keso
Yeah.
Kat, Till Corner Podcast, Twitter page. And we love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.